Hello everybody, Average Gamer here. Welcome to a quick little video about Terratech World. So as you guys know, I did a video a little while ago talking about how I was pretty nervous as to what was going on with Terratech Worlds, because there was the layoffs in Payload Studios and all that jazz. Well, they've now pushed out 2 patches since I did that video. I actually uninstalled the game for a while and just kind of walked away, and I decided to check up on things, and it looks like today, of all days, I went to go look, and they did a second patch. So they did a patch on the 20th last month. It's December. It was actually hit right here. Okay. So they did a patch on February 20th where they added hot swapping. They changed the onboarding system. Now, they also made some changes to scanners, where scanners are now biome specific, which is really cool. They added the Bastion for the swamp from the looks of it. They updated some power stuff. As I mentioned, the scanners are now locked to the biome. Hence, I'm assuming the hot swapping. So you can just swap between. My plan is to have the same tech, but each tech will have basically the name. So it'll be my swamp tech, polar tech, desert tech, whatever. And it'll just have that set scanner on it. Well, let's see. I'm looking forward to the ocean stuff. Figure out how it's going to go. They added some more structure blocks for base building. They added some, they worked on some game balancing, some bug fixes. Now you can actually get gold properly. Yeah, so there's all that. And like I was saying, I don't mind Terratech 2, aka Terratech Worlds. My big issue was that I just couldn't build that big monstrosity of a tech I wanted, right? I didn't like the fact that I had to spend so much time crafting ammunition. So whenever I was in the game, right, I would always set the reactor to max, and I would always turn off ammo. But my big problem there was you're killing other techs, stealing their gubbins, but then you'd end up with massive piles of ammunition everywhere, and they don't despawn. Well, that's now changed. Quite a bit of it. So they're now introducing classic mode, which is basically a couple more options in the game. So you can go with the presets. When it comes to the settings now, you can do Prospector, which is how they actually want Terratech Worlds to be. So, reactor limits, all that stuff. Then there's the Explorer preset, which is basically the relaxed version of the game. And then you have the Pioneer and First Wave. Basically, it's going to be the intense preset. So you got balanced, relaxed, and intense. Basically, you're looking at, how do you want to play the game? Do you want to be running around, having to fight a lot of people, all that jazz, the plants and all that stuff? Do you want to have more of a sit back, relax version of the game, kind of more cathartic version of the game, or a mix of the two, right? That's pretty good. Kind of, just the presets of the settings. Now, they've added a fourth, which is classic, which basically, to sum it all up, you can turn off now reactor limits. Block licensing is now being, but you can turn that on or off. Ammo requirements, which were like before, you can turn them on and off, but now when you turn it off, they don't drop ammo anymore, which is good. And then you can also access your block collection anywhere, like you could with the SCU. Now, there's my big problem with that. So that wasn't an option in Terratech 1. I think, to be honest, maybe give us a block where it has to be on your tech, and then you can do it. Just like how you can have a mobile, you can have an SCU and then a mobile SCU. I can't remember. I think it wasn't GSL. It was the racing ones, the ones that were the red and white. But if I'm not mistaken, they had a mobile SCU, which was pretty nice. They made some changes to enemies. Once again, block changes, some game balancing. I like the fact that now the silos pretty much are doubled up as to how much they're going to hold. And they're also now cheaper to make. And there's, the usual fixing of things in regards to output and stuff like that. The terrain tool looks like it's now purchasable, which I will go and take a look at the Swamp Trader. The pulse heater doesn't blow you up or let your tech on fire and burn everything to the ground. They fixed some burn time issues. The hydroponics lab, I fiddled with it a little bit. I like it because it just uses water. I think it was just water. It takes a The hydroponics lab is weird. It takes a lot to get to the hydroponics lab, but once you get to it, you get unlimited organics, and you basically just tell it, hey, just constantly send these organics to container X, and then container X will either go to, for example, something to make, I think silicone wafers, and then the other one will go to, a generator. Or I'll just have it sitting there and, it'll just be doing its own thing, and I can go grab a stack of organics for whatever I need. The thing that I like here is this. So the fragmenter has gotten fixed, which is nice. Things were popping out of it, if I'm not mistaken. They removed tantalum from the game finally. And they've updated the scanner's description. So all in all, not bad. Honestly, I'm probably going to be trying this later today. If it's in a position where I'm enjoying it and I'm having fun, I will be possibly starting a Let's Play. What I do like is this image. Where is it? Or is it just, I'm liking this. This looks really nice. My base will probably be near the traders. Usually is where I like to build my bases. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so looks like they're doing really good. Now there is one thing I want to mention. Is this? Long story short, they admit kind of they screwed up. The fact that the game really wasn't going in the direction they want. They were basically torn between two groups of people. People that were looking for Terratech 2 and people that were having fun playing Terratech Worlds. Obviously the two of them being separate. All in all, I understand where they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? You can either make people happy with Terratech 2 or make people happy with Terratech Worlds. They also do mention that the company's been having some difficulties as of the last little while, but they do state that they're going to be continuing work on Terratech Worlds, and the office currently is not going to be shutting down. There will be a roadmap. When the roadmap comes out, I'll be doing another video on that. So this is looking very, very good. I would advise you to go to the Terratech Worlds Discord and read this whole thing for yourself. There's a discussion basically about why they're including Classic. And to be honest with you, I understand why they're doing it, but I also don't understand why they didn't just put these options in and just, they're just a little checkbox, I'm pretty sure, right? In the game settings. Now, probably at the back end, obviously, it takes a lot of work. But I mean, some people were just being like, hey, let me do this. Hey, let me do that. And they were quiet for a couple months, obviously putting their nose to the grindstone, and I'm happy about that. Just give us more communication like this. Like, this is all I'm asking for is, hey, talk to us and give us the info. Now that I've read this whole thing, I sit back and go, okay, I now understand why they haven't put a patch in a while. I understand why, we're not getting as many, updates to the game because they're obviously working really hard. Cool. Just communicate that information to us. That's the important part. They break down, obviously what the new stable is and all that stuff. And how, they basically have been trying to figure out, between Terratech Classic or Terratech versus Terratech 2 versus Terratech Worlds. But yeah, read this for yourself. There's a lot of information in here. It feels very heartfelt. And this definitely feels like something that was written and reviewed by Tom here. And it feels very honest. Yeah, so looks like we're finally getting what we want, which is communication more than anything. Yeah, obviously, patches would be really nice too. But we're getting communicated to. We're being told, hey, this is what's going on. This is how we're doing things. This is why we thought this. This didn't work out. Long story short, I'm very happy with this. The roadmap, I'm hoping, comes very soon. I hope the roadmap is within the next week or so. If it's within the next week or so, that's good. That tells me right there that, hey, something, I have something to look at and say, are they behind or are they ahead? How are they doing compared to what they want? And that tells me how they're doing. But yeah, enough rambling. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.